Focus. Get in touch today and make sense of digital marketing.
Hi, I'm Zach Daniels.
And I'm Dave Bishop. Join us on Where to Eat, the ultimate culinary adventure.
And I'm Derek Sidian.
As your food review professionals, you can find us at KBRFradio.com, the Fergus Now app, and on YouTube.
Don't miss the adventures in local cuisine, must-try dishes to chef picks. They try it all. Tune in every first Friday of the month for new episodes.
And we showcase previous dining delicacies every third Friday.
Sponsored by Fergus 66 and Service Food of Fergus Falls.
Hungry for the best eats? Check us out, and we'll show you where to eat.
Save money with Fergus Falls deals. Text deals to 321-1926.
Brand Camp, where businesses build their brand.
His name was Brad, and he was a kitchen guy. He had a good business, but then he discovered a way to make it a great business. How did he do that? Well, Brad discovered the secret of having a differentiating idea, a difference maker. What's your difference maker? Your reason why people should buy from you. Now, if you said quality of service, you flunked the test, because everybody says that, and no one believes those words anymore. Brand Camp can help you with your true difference maker. If you own or run a business, pull up a log, get around the campfire, and learn 40 years worth of marketing knowledge in just 180 minutes. Discover your difference maker by joining us at Brand Camp. And just like our friend Brad was glad he did, you will be too.
Brand Camp, where businesses build their brand.
Brand Camp is Wednesday, October 30th from 8:30 to noon at the Bigwood Event Center. Register today at layton.media.
News, weather, sports, and farm information. News Talk 1250 AM KBRF Fergus Falls. Depend on it.
News Talk 1250 KBRF presents The Coaches Show with Craig Olson. Brought to you by Nelson Auto Center, Quality Toyota, LB Homes, American Federal Bank, American Legion, the Minnesota Motor Company, and by the Artisan Agency. Here's KBRF Sports Director Craig Olson.
Guru here. So already, there we go. Okay, I hear it now. All right. Hey, it's Saturday morning, and I must be still tired, waking up, getting the sleep out of my eyes. Whatever.
I think all of us are.
Yeah, but wow, what a week! What a busy week. Before we get into Coach Chris Grabowska of the Otter football team, I just want a reminder for all of you soccer fans out there. We will have Fergus Falls and Hillcrest boys soccer North Subsection Championship in 8A taking place at D Lagoon Park today. And that is a 2 o'clock start, and it'll be a 1:45 pregame, and you'll catch it live with Mark Johnson on the call on KJ Country 96.5 FM. Mark was on the call last night when the Otters hosted Thief River Falls in football and won 47-6 and go to 7-0 on the season. Chris Grabowska, the head coach of the Otters, is in the studio with us, and got off to kind of a scary start there, Chris. You had the ball moving, and Henry fumbled the ball, but thankfully Levi King, right place, right time, scooped it up, and what could have been a disaster turns into 6 points.
Yeah, give credit to Thief River. They made a good play. That was just a good tackle and going for the ball, and that's why we preach blocking downfield, right? And that's what a few of our kids were doing, so we just had people around the ball, and Levi was able to be there and scoop it up and score on that first play. So that was nice.
Some guys just have a nose for being in the right place at the right time and to get on those balls. Levi seems to be one of those guys. If the ball's there, he's kind of right around it.
Yeah, I think he did and had another one like that earlier in the season with Jack Ratz. So
right.
Yeah, he's right there. He's always around the ball, and when you're around the ball, things like that happen.
Well, and speaking of Jack Ratz, he caught a touchdown pass in the first quarter last night. We had him on TV the other night, one of your guys that was in with you, and I think we had 6 Otters on that night. That was a lot of fun. But one of the things we talked to Jack about was how he's becoming Mr. Touchdown. I mean, he does pretty well down there in the red zone.
Yeah, he's a big target in the red zone, so that makes a difference. And he's a big body. He can move. He's athletic. He can get himself open, and so it's nice to have that option, for quarterbacks and offensive coordinators to have him get open in the end zone, and you just kind of throw the ball up to him, and he goes and gets it. So that's what happened on that play.
I would think defensively he's pretty tough to cover,
Yeah, it's hard when you kind of get boxed out. It's like basketball. You get boxed
Right.
out, you can't get around him. So, and Henry throws a good ball, so it's just a perfect combination.
Well, you get that 12-0 lead, and you had to go for two there because you missed the first extra point. And we talked about this the other night also that you don't go for two a lot. You've got Jaden Hike, 'cause why would you, right? He's almost automatic out there with extra point kicks, but every now and then you need to get that point back, and that was the deal last night. You did get a 2-point conversion later in the first half. How comfortable are you guys with your collection of 2-point play opportunities?
Well, like I think I mentioned this on the radio or TV show the other night. I mean, we have a list of plays that we like to go to in those kind of situations. We have a lot of situational plays actually that um, so I mean there's options there, and fortunate we were able to get one of those. Got some things to clean up on our PATs though, that we're going to work on this week.
Yeah, I was going to ask what happened with those, with the extra point kicks that were not successful last night, because we've talked about that too. The elements that you need to have. You need to have the protection. You need to have the snap. You need to have the hold. You need to have the kick. I mean, there's a lot that can go wrong.
Well, it never was just the same thing. It was a different thing every time. The first one, I believe, was the snap, and then it was a blocking assignment on another one, and then on the last one, I think it was a hold. So yeah, I mean, we just got to get consistent in executing our assignments on that play.
So the Otters are undefeated. You go up 12-0 in the first quarter. And if I'm Thief River, I just had a long bus trip. We're playing an undefeated team. We're down 12-0. I'm thinking, oh man, this can be a long night. But give credit to them, right? They answered and came back, scored a touchdown, got to within 6 points.
Yeah, we knew, their offense is tough to stop sometimes. They're consistent. It's the same stuff over and over and over again, and they put together a little bit of a drive. I mean, maybe like midfield. It wasn't terribly long, but they were getting like 3, 4, 5 yards at a time on that drive, and then getting the red zone. We had them to third down, and they roll out kind of, and they throw up that ball. Great catch by that kid. We had the coverage there. Just sometimes there's nothing you can do about that.
Well, and as you mentioned, it was a shorter field than you like to give an offense as far as starting a possession around midfield or on the offensive side of the 50-yard line. And you haven't done that much this year. Your defense has been really, in good position usually to defend because you've been scoring, you've been pinning teams back deep on the kickoff. So you haven't given up a lot of bad field position on exchanges.
No, we haven't, and I think there's a few plays that we weren't lined up right. We just got to clean up some assignments, and then our offense, we decided to go for it on fourth down. We're getting a little greedy maybe. So yeah, we gave them a short field, but yeah, we don't do that too often. We play good complementary football for the most part.
I think if I were in your shoes, Chris, and I had fourth and short with your line and your playmakers, I'd go for it all the time. I mean,
Right.
it's a risk, yes, but it seems like a pretty good risk.
Yeah, I think I mean I feel confident in our defense that if we don't convert, that they'll be there to back us up, and they were. So yeah, it's like I said, I just felt like we could get a half a yard, and we just missed a blocking assignment, and kind of fell apart, but it worked out in the end.
Yes, it did. And so you get the ball back. You're ahead 12-6. It's getting toward halftime, and there's Henry and Levi connecting on a 34-yard touchdown pass. So what was the route they connected on there?
Oh, it's just an outside screen, like a tunnel screen that we converted, and just got Levi the ball in space, and had some blockers out in front of him, and he's able to make a play.
Yeah, he does pretty well. I got a great picture from Julie Nelson last night that's up on my website where he's stiff arming the defender. He's pretty good with that stiff arm.
Yep, yeah, he's good in open space, and he can make guys miss, and he's also got the power to run through guys and to get them off. So he's a great football player.
So then you converted on that 2-point try. Isaiah Holmes caught it. Good to have Isaiah back. You're a little concerned he might not be available this week, but he's out there obviously and contributing.
Yeah, last week, Little Falls game, he kind of had a turf toe issue, and on one of the plays, and that's where Pee Wee had to step in. But credit to Isaiah, his toughness. He was back Monday, ready to go at practice. So yeah, that was a swinging gate play.
Yeah.
So it worked out, and it was fun to watch.
All right. Okay, we need the explanation. Now, coaches do this, folks, okay? They love nicknames, okay? And players love having nicknames, all right? So, Pee Wee. Okay, who's Pee Wee?
That's Eston Bethel.
Okay.
That's what his friends call him, and so I'm not really sure what the meaning is behind that, so I just go with it.
I love it. That's part of sports, the nicknames. So, yeah, that's all right. So, you're ahead 20-6 at halftime. And then you came out just, well, gangbusters in the third quarter, scored 21 straight points in the third quarter. This, I'm sure, is something you want to see continue, a fast start to the second half, especially when you have a lead and have a chance to really put the other team down. So what kind of was your message at halftime there?
Well, we just kind of went in, and we had a lot of 15-yard penalties in the first half, and we had a turnover, and we just kind of went in and hit the reset button. And we're just like, we gotta clean this up. We can't be having any more 15-yarders, turnovers, and kind of beating ourselves in a sense. And yeah, we just reset, and he just said, we gotta play loose and go out and have some fun. And that's what we did the second half.
Yeah, 21 points in the third quarter, and now it's 41-6, and we're just playing it out now the rest of the way. But talk about your running game a little bit, because Karsten Froning and Caleb Froning are both healthy now and in the backfield, and they had complimentary nights last night. I think they're both right around 60, 70 yards, something like that, running the football. They both got in the end zone. Are they different type of runners? What do they give you variety-wise as far as running options?
Well, I think Caleb, the younger brother, he's pretty good in the tackles. He's runs guys over. He can make guys miss inside the tackles. And Karsten, he's got speed, and you get Karsten in the open field. So like the outside run game, he's really good at that. So it's nice to have both options for sure, and keep guys fresh on the offense. And they're both really great runners.
And I would guess you're seeing, as this third quarter progresses, the Thief River defense, the kids maybe getting a little run down, and maybe even in the body language a little bit, because you're punishing them right now. And you had a chance to really put it away, and you did when Henry connected with Rats on a touchdown pass.
Yeah, that was nice. That was just kind of a crosser route, RPO play on that play, and Rats. Henry, great job. He rides the fake, and he's waiting for Jack to get open, and so that's a great play to watch. And yes, it was important to make that statement and kind of send a message, and I feel like we did that.
Well, and then Jaden Hikus comes in after all those touchdowns in the third quarter and does what he does, kicks the extra point.
Yeah, see, when everybody's doing their assignments, that's what's supposed to happen, right?
Exactly. So you got to love that. Now, yeah, I'm kind of curious. Jaden's a soccer player. He's playing today out at De Lagoon, and the Otters have done this for several years, where they have a soccer player come and do the kicking, and it's worked out really well. But how much time do you get to actually work on the PATs or field goal opportunities during the course of a week of practice when Jaden's kind of here and there?
Yeah, it's a communication piece. It depends on their game schedule for the week, but usually he'll go a couple of days a week. He'll go to a soccer practice, and then when he's done, come over to football. He leaves soccer a little bit early so that we can get him later in our practice. So it's been good. We just communicate and see what time he can get there and fit him into our practice.
So your final touchdown in the fourth quarter, Pee Wee goes 67 yards for the TD. He got his first one last week on a pass from his brother, and this one he kind of did on his own, right?
Yeah. It was a jet sweep, and I'm like, I'm gonna get Pee Wee the ball and see what he can do. And there's always that chance and expectation that he can score when the ball's in his hands. He's just he doesn't look like a freshman, and there's always a chance that he can score and take it to the house, and he did on that play.
And that put it away for the Otters, 47-6. You know, look at the numbers here. And again, we've talked about the line both ways, offense and defense, all season. But you know, this is where we give the running backs the yards, you give the quarterback the yards, you give the receiver the yards. But so much of this belongs to the line. You know, the Otter offense last night, 434 total yards. Running yardage was there. You ran for 296 yards. You threw for 138. You know, the line sometimes doesn't get the credit they deserve, but they are all over those stats, aren't they?
They sure are, you know. If you're an offensive lineman, you love running the ball. And that's kind of their mentality right now. They beg to run the ball. And we got good backs behind them, but yeah, the blocking starts up front. And then pass game, the protection's been great. Henry's only been sacked twice all year. So
wow,
that's been... You know, they're good in both facets of the game. So
right, when you get that protection, and then you add Henry's escapability, and it's going to be hard for defenses to catch him no matter what. So
yeah.
And defensively, you held Thief River to 166 total yards, or 168, only 8 passing yards. So defensively, you're on the game. Also, were you pressuring the quarterback when they were in passing mode?
Well, I don't know if you can really pressure them. I mean, he rolls out, or it's like a pass when you're not expecting it. So credit to our DBs because, you know, they're run,
yep.
Sprinkling a pass here and there. So they're definitely reading their keys and doing their jobs and staying in coverage. So, and then they did complete maybe a couple of passes for negative yards. So,
right.
Yeah, I mean, they were keyed in, doing their jobs, and you know, second half, I thought we really buckled down and stopped them in the run game for sure.
And now you've got the big showdown here with Morris coming up on Wednesday. Both teams 7-0. You're both going to get a first-round bye, but this is a key game because it will determine the number 1 seed and set the tone kind of for what's to come, right?
Yeah, I agree. You know, I feel like playoffs start next week or on Wednesday night.
Yep.
That number 1 seed is going to be really important, I feel like, and with DGF kind of, you know, they're rolling again. So I feel like they're going to be the 3 seed. And so if we get the 1, you know, we won't probably face them until the final.
Right.
So, yeah, so I feel like it's going to be a great game. Morris is a good team. We got to just be ready to go and not have a lot of penalties and turnovers. If we can take care of those things, I like our chances.
Yeah, absolutely. Should be a fun night. It'll be a packed crowd. Nice to have that one at home, isn't it?
It is,
yeah.
For sure.
All right, Chris, thanks for coming in talking about the Otters. Great start. Again, 7-0. Can't get any better than that, can it?
No, it can't.
No. All right. Thanks. Have a great week.
Thank you. You too.
Chris Grabowska, head coach of the Otter football team. We're back with more cross country up next as the Otters had a busy week there, too. So don't go away. Thanks for joining us here on our Super Sports Saturday Coaches Interview program on News Talk 1250 KBRF.
Portions of today's program may be pre-recorded.
All right. Thank you, sir.
I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with your forecast from the KBRF Weather Center. A blend of clouds and sun today with daytime highs approaching 63. Southeasterly winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Lows dip down to about 41. Tonight, cloudy. Lots of sunshine. Tomorrow, highs around 53. Temps below average Monday and Tuesday with highs from the low 50s to the mid 50s. Currently 50.
Quality Toyota is proud to salute the achievements of each quality player. It takes teamwork to compete, and the Quality Player Award recognizes the extra effort by an individual in each athletic contest. Quality Toyota commends the hard work, dedication, and quality efforts of these outstanding youth. That attitude will help each quality player as they go forward. Congratulations to each of the quality players from Quality Toyota on West Lincoln Avenue in Fergus Falls. QualityToyota.net. Let's go places.
Student athletes have their eyes on the ball, making game plans, scoring points, breaking records. At American Federal in Fergus Falls, we know you have goals too. Whether it's buying farmland, business expansion, home ownership, or planning for retirement. Our trusted advisor, Dustin Morris, will help you find the best solutions and make the right calls. Make a winning appointment with an American Federal banker in Fergus Falls today. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Hi, my name is Lori, and I'm the housing manager at Sheridan House in Fergus Falls, Minnesota. If you're 55 or older and looking for a quiet and comfortable apartment with underground parking, meals available for purchase, a flexible month-to-month lease, plus $500 off your first month's rent, give me a call at 218-998-7404 or go to lbhomes.org/Sheridan. I'd love to show you around and see if Sheridan House is right for you.
Here's to a great season for all our favorite high school athletes. American Legion is a favorite too and serves up everyone's favorite barbecued ribs. American Legion of Fergus Falls, open each Wednesday through Saturday on Pebble Lake Road in Fergus Falls.
Up to 12 months free hosting and maintenance on your new website. People are searching for your products and services online right now. Are you showing up? At Leighton Engage, we make websites that tell your story and drive results.
Leighton Engage. Find your focus.
Welcome back to our Coaches Show. Saturday mornings are busy here in the studio, and Saturdays, well, all day busy, I guess, with soccer coming up on KJ Country, 96.5 FM at 2 o'clock from D Lagoon. Hillcrest hosting Fergus Falls. Should be a good one for the 8A North Subsection Championship, and an opportunity to play for the Section 8 title on Tuesday in Sauk Center, most likely against number 1 seed in the South, St. Cloud Cathedral. Nikki Weldy's here to talk cross country. Busy week. You know, last week you guys weren't here because you were in Alexandria, and that is a very competitive meet. There's some really good teams in Alexandria, and you need that competition, don't you, Nikki? The stiff competition.
Absolutely. You know, we've got, you know, kids that have lofty goals for the end of the season, and they need that competition. Lots of AAA schools, AA schools, people we don't see, but we see them on paper. So it was nice to go head to head and see where we stand.
Cassie Wallman has been just automatic for you. Almost seems like she's, you know, first every meet. In this one, she was third.
Yeah.
And overall, how did she respond to the top competition that she saw and racing against those girls?
Oh, she responded exactly like she needed to be, which is exciting going into postseason, you know, competition. She, you know, she ran with that top pack from the beginning and didn't hold back, and she used that push. I've said it every time, you know, she's come in so strong and with her mentality of, you know, wanting to get what she wants. And, you know, you can just see it in her face every single race.
Yeah, and I'm sure that the other girls that she's running against know about her. They're wondering, where is that Wellman girl, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And Carson Lill ran a personal best for you, and she just completed her tennis season. Yeah. And you know, she had a great tennis season, as well. The Otters continue today with a couple of kids down at the sections. We'll talk about in a couple minutes too. But now Carson can dedicate full time to cross country. What is that going to do for her here down the stretch to be able to do that?
Well, she's new to cross country, so you know, it'll be a big difference for her. Will be just getting that, you know, repetition of training, not on the track like she's used to with the distance girls, like every day. Getting out on the course and running with them in practice more often, I think, is just helpful. You know, she was Central Lakes Conference Athlete of the Week for tennis the week before, and then this last week for cross country.
Wow.
So that just kind of shows you that she's able to juggle both very well and has done that, but it'll be really fun to see her, you know, focus and be with her team the whole time. And so far, you know, she just eats it up.
As a team, you were 13th out of the 20 teams at Alexandria, and somehow it doesn't compute when I see that everybody ran season best times for you. You know, but it just shows you again how stiff that field was.
Yes, I remember, you know, Terry Harrington back in the, we'd go to this meet, and at that time, you know, there'd be 400 or 500 runners, and we kept saying, you know, you have a kid who has their best time and is running top in our section, and sometimes they're 253rd or something.
Yep,
you know, it's like you just look at that cross country. There's only one winner. You know, there's only one race, and so you know, they just, but the PRs are just flying right now.
Well, and that continued in Perham, right? You had everybody again with personal best time, so you're kind of hitting the stride right now.
Yeah, nearly everybody. There were, you know, just a couple. when you sometimes you still get that gap and you don't have somebody to race with, so sometimes you don't have that pressure. But boy, that course is fast. We've talked about it in the past, and it was it's a real it's so dry, so the ground is hard. It's like running a really fast track in the same way, and yeah, the dry. It was so dry. The dust and everything made it breathing a little bit difficult. There was dust in the air the entire time because there was a race going all the time, and that affected some of our kids. But boy, you wouldn't know it by the times.
Yeah, and you were 8th overall, and there were 23 teams there, and again, very good competition. Perham won the girls' race there, but Cassie, back to Cassie for a minute here. She led from the get-go and led the whole race and beat the field by 21 plus seconds.
Yeah, and that's a long time. That's coming around the last corner and looking back and not having anybody coming down the chute. I mean, and then that kind of tells you, not having that pressure. We did see in Alexandria how she responded with that competition, so we know that it's there. But she's very self-motivated, ran an excellent time. And yeah, just needs those people there for her.
And Carson Lill was your second runner across the finish line, but Savannah Lee was right there with her.
Yeah, and Savannah Lee, how exciting. I mean, she was so focused before the start of this race, watching her. Just a well-rounded student athlete at our school, and so busy with all the things she does, and she just has a focus and ran a personal best all time, and that's really, I mean, that's exciting. I just remember, you have these milestones with kids where they cross over from a 22-minute to a 21. They want to get that, and she's going to be knocking her goal into the 20s here very soon.
So after the third runner there, Savannah Sullivan, how bunched are we with 4 through 7 right now? Is there some pack running going on? Are there people shifting, from the fifth best time to the fourth best time? What's happening?
Yeah, they're shifting. Watching at this course, there's kind of, they come out of the woods off of some moguls, and just watching who's going to come around off that mogul is interesting. We don't always know. It's been consistently Cassie, Carson, and Savannah, and then you have Julia Anderson and Lydia Ugerud. They're back and forth a bit. Allie Bradenberg, she's another girl, tennis and cross country, and now focused on cross country, and coming on, and again PRs and season best for all of them. So. It's fun to watch. And then, we have Olivia Swanson, Violet McCann, and Hannah Scharnberg are battling for that last spot. And I tell you what, our conference meet is going to be very telling for our section team. And the girls, they all want it. And that's what we love to see.
Well, so there's definitely motivation for the conference meet, a lot of motivation, actually, not just that, but you love to see kids trying to improve and get out there and get into that tournament team, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And where we're seated for conference going in, Wilmer is there. We can catch them, and we can be in that top 3. They really just need to have a great day, and the fact that they're competing for these spots, it doesn't do anything to harm their relationship with each other on the team, but it's that competition that they want. And I think we're gonna see great things from them.
And that's St. Cloud Apollo hosts that. Is that at the St. Cloud Country Club, or where is that?
No, they're running on their campus.
Oh, they are?
Yeah, in St. Cloud. A lot of times when we go to St. Cloud meets, they'll be on a campus somewhere.
Okay, all right. Well,
lots of green space.
Is it a course that kind of fits your runners well, or is it a new course for them, or?
No, new for a lot of them. We haven't been there for a while. But our kids respond to many different courses. Fergus Falls being what it is with hills and in our training daily, they're kind of ready to hit up whatever comes their way.
So how does the training shift at this time of year, getting into the conference and the section preparation?
Yep, we're fine-tuning details and more, less quantity, more quality in our training. We have much of our team looking to move on another week, so it's not completely rest up and be ready for the conference meet necessarily. We're looking for those. A lot of them are looking for their best, on a couple meets down the road.
Right.
Knock on wood. I'm such a superstitious person.
Yeah, I know. You wouldn't do well in radio because we have to plan way ahead, like we're gonna,
Right. Yeah, just don't tell me.
Yeah, exactly. So this conference meet, is this going to be varsity, JV, junior high? Do you get everybody involved? Is this the last meet we're going to see that for the young kids?
Yep, this will be, and it's kind of fun in cross country. There is a junior high event in this championship meet, and that isn't always the case in most sports. So we're fortunate that we do get to take them to this, and they get that experience for our youth runners. So yeah, we have everybody, and then that's the last one. So our last road trip with everybody. Yeah. Season's gone fast.
Then you tell those young kids, recruit your friends, right?
Oh,
we want
absolutely.
more runners.
We're doing that all year.
I know you are, yes. Well, the boys, can we touch on them
Yeah.
for a minute here, too? They were 8th in Alexandria, and again, stiff
Oh,
competition.
Yeah.
But good performances there, too, as Jaden Miller and Logan Bradenberg, kind of the usual suspects there at the top with Henry Grenigal. They've had a really nice team here, and then they finished 3rd over in Perham.
Yes, yeah. And then they ran excellent times. Again, competitive with each other. I like watching it Perham kind of at the end, right? The last, they've got 400 meters to go where we stand, and they just, who's going to come over that hill? And we just kind of wait and watch, and it makes it kind of exciting. But, they're back and forth, especially those top 3 with Henry, Logan, and Jaden.
And we can throw Michael Schmidt in there, too. Michael's been coming on very strong.
Yes.
In fact, I think he was 2nd across the line for the Otters in Perham, so a good finish there. But they press each other during practice. And the thing I love about that, and with your team, too, the girls, is they compete against each other in practice and push each other, but they're going to be your biggest fan out there when you're running.
Oh, absolutely, and supportive of each other. But, at the same time, if you feel like go, don't hold back. It's best for the team.
Right.
Yeah.
And Brody Nelson's coming on, too.
How
sophomore.
exciting. And we've talked a little bit about him, over this year that, had just an outstanding, just everything clicked in track right at the end of the season. So we were excited coming in, and just watching him be one of those guys to come off those moguls was so much fun. Yeah.
So this week, the Central Lakes Conference meet is Thursday?
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Yeah, which is different
that
for
comes
us.
up fast.
Oh, yes, it
Okay.
does for
All
us
right.
in our training too, yeah.
Yeah, I better have a good day Monday, right?
Yeah,
Good
right.
practice.
Yes.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Well, good luck there, and
Yep,
thank you for
thank
coming
you.
in and talking about your runners.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having
Appreciate
us.
it. You
Yep.
bet. Nikki Weldy, girls cross country coach at Fergus Falls High School. We'll continue our coaches show after this time out here on News Talk 1250 KBRF.
Nelson Auto Center in Fergus Falls has a fantastic starting lineup with America's 3 favorite truck brands, Ford, Ram, and GMC. Nelson Auto can help you enjoy your time out on the road. Check out our starting lineup at Nelson Auto Center, Fergus Falls.
What makes Fergus Falls unique? It's the obscure places, the hidden gems, the remarkable people.
UnveiledLocal.com.
We exist to unveil the best of the Fergus Falls community to you. We're Unveiled Local, a new website dedicated to revealing all the awesome in our community.
UnveiledLocal.com.
Dive into the narratives that make Fergus Falls incredible.
UnveiledLocal.com.
Discover the threads that connect our community together.
UnveiledLocal.com.
High-quality local embroidery for your community. Running Stitches is the choice for everything, from business logos to team apparel and personal projects. They bring your designs to life. Andrew and Allison Olson from Running Stitches Embroidery are proud supporters of local sports.
It's truck season at Minnesota Motor Company in Fergus Falls. What does that mean? It means well-qualified buyers can finance most new Silverado trucks for 0% APR and no payments for 90 days when they finance with GM Financial. Or they can save up to $10,000 on select Silverado trucks. Contact the sales team at Minnesota Motor Company for details. Together, let's drive.
Minnesota Motor.
South Pebble Lake Road, Fergus Falls.
Finding that missing shin guard. Remembering whether it's a home or away game. Getting the right kid to the right playing field on the right day. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. We work with independent agents who keep insurance simple so you can worry about more important things. Like not being that fan. Oh, come on, Ref! That's simple human sense.
Visit the Arneson Agency at their new location, 120 East Lincoln, Fergus Falls.
Welcome back Saturday morning. Our coaches show coming your way here on News Talk 1250 KBRF. Rachel Cox is here, the head coach of the Otter Girls Swimming and Diving Team, the True Team Section champions.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was just last night.
Yes. Yep.
More on that coming up here. But before we get to that, let's go back. Earlier in the week, you had a duel against Wilmer.
Yes.
Central Lakes Conference dual meet, and you won that one pretty easily, 120 to 61. You know, there's a pattern here, Rachel, okay? Your relays are doing pretty well. I don't care what the meet is, where you're at, and that night you excelled again in the relays.
Yeah, our relays have just been so strong this season, getting us a ton of points at every meet. I know I can rely on the relays, and not always the same 4 girls in each of the relays. We just have a lot of depth that I know what I'm putting out there is going to bring back some points. That 400 free relay has been strong for us all season long, which is just, it's been such a surprise because historically that's been a little weak over the last few years. So that relay has been really strong. Our 200 free relay is really strong. So yeah, it's fun to watch that. You get 4 girls get a shot to go in and come out with those first place finishes.
You know, I'm always curious to get to that 400, especially the 400 freestyle relay, last meet or last event of the meet, and you've got it in hand like you have it in Wilmer, and the girls know this is going to be an exhibition score. We're not going to contribute to the team score because that's the way you do it.
Yeah.
But they still seem to go out and, you know, you look at the times, they're still the fastest times, you know, 1, 2. I mean, so they keep that inside motivation going, whether or not it's going to impact the team score that night or not.
Yeah, absolutely. And when it comes to those relays, the girls just gel. They want to prove it to themselves. They want to see what they can do. They're shooting for a best time every time they get behind the block.
Yeah, it's always the clock you're going up against.
Exactly.
Too. Yeah, you got somebody next to you in the lane, but you got to beat your time from before. That's the goal. Well, you had some other really great top finishes there. Olivia Jensen continues to just shine for you, the 200 and the 500 freestyle. It's so good to get points, big points, out of your distance events.
Yeah, absolutely. And Olivia's still coming up with those points. She's been sick this week, came down with a bit of a cold. So she was a little disappointed in her times, but we said, well, those times were good enough for a first place finish. So we'll take it.
Okay. Estee Versteeg, you can put her anywhere, can't you?
Absolutely. Yep.
50 free in the 100 breast in this meet, but that's not what she does all the time.
Usually not at all. I mean, the 200 free has really turned out to be her favorite race this year. But yeah, you can put her anywhere and know you're going to get results.
Yeah, and you did that night too. And Alexis Wellman, 200 IM, we've talked about the progress Alexis has made this year.
Yeah, Alexis has had a great season as well. We've been putting her in some different events this year, trying a few different things. So the IM is a newer race to her, but she had a great night last Tuesday.
And Ella Kopinski, is there anything that phases her? I mean, she's young, but, you know, maybe when you're young, you don't know any better, right? You know.
I mean, she's so strong, and her freestyle is just one of the smoothest strokes that we see in the pool. On Tuesday, you know, she came out, and she was feeling a little disappointed with some of her turns, but I was like, why?
Right, yeah, well.
Looked good to me.
Must be a perfectionist, right?
Absolutely.
There's room for improvement, Coach, right?
Yep.
Well, that's a good dual win. You took care of business, did what you had to do there. You were favored to win. Figured I'm sure you scored the meet out ahead of time, and it looked pretty good, you know, and it all came to fruition. So that was good to see. But the main meet this week was that True Team meet last night. You win that event. Did you accomplish what you wanted to accomplish last night? I mean, there's more to the meet than putting the most points on the board.
Yeah. True Team is one of those tricky things. You know, it comes in at a time where we're really transitioning in our workouts and our practices. When we get to 4 weeks left in the season, we start piling on yards. I mean, we hit the girls really hard, and so that we have something to taper from. So True Team comes at this point where you really want to ramp up your training, but you also want to do well at the meet. My goal for these girls was to go in and feel relaxed, not have any pressure hanging over their heads, not feel like we've got to get to True Team state. Like, we just have to prove to ourselves what we can do. We need to show the work that we've put in this season. Alexis Wellman at the meet yesterday came out after her 200 and was like, oh my gosh, I feel so good today. I don't feel the pressure. I don't feel stressed. I'm swimming relaxed. And she had a fantastic meet. So I think our girls went in with a lot of confidence, confidence they've earned by performing well and practicing really hard this year.
And it's called True Team because it gives you a true feel of what your team is depth-wise, because everybody scores a point, right?
Right, yes,
absolutely. In the events. Mm-hmm. And that can be a real positive. Did you have any difficulties as a coaching staff determining your lineup for that event? Is that different than for a duel?
It is, yeah, it is. It's difficult. we want to send as many girls as we can. You get fewer entries than you would in a dual, so you get 4 individual entries in each of the individual events. You get 4 relays, so it's trying to find the best matchup to get the most points out of the meet.
And it's a true test of your depth, right?
Absolutely, yep.
And your numbers are pretty good.
They're pretty good this year.
It's not always that way, year to year, but
yeah, we've got a lot of kids, but we've got a lot of really strong swimmers.
Yeah, and good. It seems like good distribution, grade-wise. I mean, you're a little thin at the top, maybe senior. How many seniors?
We have 9 seniors.
Oh, no, yeah, okay. It's the
Our junior class.
Last year you had the 3.
Oh, yep. Last year we just had 3. Yep.
So 9 seniors. That's good. Good to have that leadership. But then, you've got distribution through all the grades, all the way down to 8th and even.
Yeah, we had a whole bunch of 8th graders with us swimming yesterday. Our 8th grade class, I think, is our second biggest class behind the seniors. So we've got depth for years to come.
That's outstanding. All right. So last night, again, like I said, there's patterns here. Your relay teams. So you have multiple relay teams in these events, but I look at it and 1st and 6th in the 200 freestyle relay. 3rd in the medley relay, 1st, 6th, and 7th in the 400 freestyle relay. And you're talking about, 9, 10 teams in there, and you're taking those top places with your B and C relays.
Yeah, to have 3 relays in the top 8. So the top 8 finishes will medal at True Team. So we had 3 medal finishing relays in the 400 free. And in our 200 free relay, our C relay actually disqualified. We had to jump on one of the starts. So, I mean, we lost some points there, but it was a really strong showing too. I mean, the girls are they really want to prove themselves when it comes to those relays.
Yeah, and so I ask you this a lot, I know, but it changes every week. So I have to ask you, are you set with your relay lineups for the A relays, or is that still continuing to be a kind of a work in progress?
We're still moving some things around. We're still testing some other swimmers to see where they're coming out. You can see that Riley Kubala was in the 200 medley, and that was a new spot for her, and she had a great split on that freestyle leg. So we are still moving things around. Nothing is set in stone. Sections is still 4 weeks away, so we got some time.
Yeah, we were talking about that before we went on. This is a long season, right? I mean, right now you're at that point kind of where you just have to kind of persevere and swim through the adversity and hopefully stay healthy, right?
Right, yeah. I mean, about 2 weeks ago, it seemed like everyone on the team was sick. They had a cold. We had pneumonia on the team, a few girls with pneumonia, like all kinds of stuff going on. So I said, that's the week you get for being sick. No more illness the rest of the season.
Okay, I hope they listen to you, At the True Team Meet, a lot of great events that are great times that you turned in a variety of events. We talked about Este's versatility. She won the 200 and the 100 freestyle, so back in those comfortable events there. And but again, she does whatever and does it well. But Carly Peterson had a 2nd in the 100 breaststroke. That's a great finish in that meet.
That is a great finish in that meet. She's got some really stiff competition in the breaststroke coming out of Morris, Minnewaska. And she knew what she was up against. She's been doing a few tweaks to her stroke in practice. We've been kind of working on that, and we were happy with that time and excited to see what the section meet would bring.
So in your in the butterfly, just looking at a couple of events there, you had 2 in the top 8 with Ace Oppie and Evie Versteeg. So how are they coming along with that stroke? Are they going to be swimming that event as you move forward?
I believe so. Evie loves the butterfly. She's a 9th grade swimmer for us, Este's younger sister. She's been really working on her stroke too, trying to kind of ramp up her turnover rate on the stroke a little bit. She's got wonderful technique, so as she continues to develop, she'll only get stronger in that race.
And the 200 freestyle, where the Este won it, but she's not the only good freestyler you've got in that event. You had 4th place from Alexis Wellman, 5th from Olivia Jensen.
Yeah.
How exciting is that to have the depth there and the interchangeable swimmers where you have a lot of options with the freestyle.
Yeah, we really do. That was Alexis Wellman's best race in the 200 this season. I think she was hitting about her section time from last year. And she told me yesterday, I didn't realize, because, I have swam the 200 free at sections every year since 7th grade.
Whoa.
So, no, I guess I didn't realize. But, yeah, she's always been a really strong swimmer in that race.
Okay. How about the diving? How's that coming along it looks like you had pretty good performances on the board.
Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't get to see the diving. They did their competition before the swimming started, but I believe we had
Elsa was seventh.
Yeah,
Elsa
seventh,
Bailey,
and then
yep.
a ninth and a 10th place finish.
Right.
So this is the first meet that they show their 11 dive list. Usually, like in duels, they have 6 dives.
Yep.
So pulling that out this week, they'll do 11 dives again at conference and then at sections. So getting a feel for what that's like, making sure that they have some time now to work on those dives so that they're ready for that conference meet.
That's exciting. And yeah, let's see, Michelle Mao was 9th and Giamara Jacobson was 10th for the Otters in diving. I know when we covered your meet with Perham, Mike Hartwell was with me during the diving, and he had a lot of really good things to say about your divers and their work ethic and how they're going to be developing some more dives here, and it will be interesting to see how it goes. So you got some potential there.
Yeah, absolutely.
For points, which you love to get out of your diving too, right?
Yes.
Anybody else that you want to mention in the race from the True Team that I may have missed here? But you had such great performances up and down the lineup. I hate to miss anyone, but the Fear Girls did well for you, you know.
Yes.
Hannah had a 6th in the 200 IM, and Maya had a 6th in the 50 free, and Jersey Smith was good for you. You had a lot of good performances there.
Yeah.
So.
And like I said, I know we keep talking about those relays, but the 400 free relay, our A relay dropped another 2 seconds. I mean, they were already out in front. They were seated 7 seconds ahead of the next closest relay, and they're still dropping time. And Hannah Fear, you mentioned, she had a great split in her 400 free relay. Just a lot of great swimmers there.
So how low can they go? You
That's
know?
the question. That's
Yeah.
what we're trying to find out. Yeah.
Do they have a shot at the school record, or do you know? Have you?
Well, I know that 200 free relay, they know the school record, and they've
Okay.
got that in the back of their mind. That's the lofty goal for them this season.
Okay. So this week you have Tuesday at DL.
Yes.
And then the state True Team is next Saturday.
Yes.
So we won't see you here next Saturday. You'll be busy.
I'll be on the bus.
Yeah, you sure will be. Well, where is that held?
That's at the U of M.
Oh, yeah.
In the aquatic center there. So it's a great opportunity. Not every kid makes it to state in the regular season. And for those who will, now they get a look at the pool before the state tournament. So I'm really excited to get to take the whole team.
That could be huge for them.
Yes.
The swimmers who are going to compete later at state, to have that experience next week, and I'm sure it'll be a positive one with your team.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. What a great accomplishment last night for this team to get that opportunity. We'll add another meet to the list, right? I mean, this is good for the Otter program for sure.
Absolutely.
Well, congratulations. You guys have worked hard at it. You've got a great group of seniors leading you, and just a tremendous lineup. Fun to see them excelling as they are in the water. So
yeah.
And they're good in the classroom too, right?
They are. Swimmers
Yeah.
are the best. They're the
Isn't that
best
something?
students. They're the best kids.
Little biased here coming from the coach, but you know, that's all right. Hey, thanks, Rachel. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
All right. Rachel Cox, head coach of the Otter Girls Swimming and Diving Team, True Team champions after their performance last night. We'll take a time out. We'll come back and talk more on our coaches show right after this break on News Talk 1250 KBRF.
Favorite high school athletes. American Legion is a favorite too and serves up everyone's favorite barbecued ribs. American Legion of Fergus Falls, open each Wednesday through Saturday on Pebble Lake Road in Fergus Falls.
Quality Toyota is proud to salute the achievements of each quality player. It takes teamwork to compete, and the Quality Player Award recognizes the extra effort by an individual in each athletic contest. Quality Toyota commends the hard work, dedication, and quality efforts of these outstanding youth. That attitude will help each quality player as they go forward. Congratulations to each of the quality players from Quality Toyota on West Lincoln Avenue in Fergus Falls. QualityToyota.net. Let's go places.
Yo tengo osteoporosis, pero sé que puedo controlar la salud de mis huesos. La osteoporosis es una enfermedad que debilita los huesos y los hace más propensos a romperse. Siga una dieta saludable que incluya calcio y vitamina D. Y haga ejercicio con regularidad para mantener los huesos fuertes. Empiece su propio camino hacia una buena salud de sus huesos. Obtenga consejos sobre la salud de sus huesos en pathtogoodbonehealth.org.
Up to 12 months free hosting and maintenance when you start a new website project at Leighton Engage. Is your website grabbing attention or getting lost in the crowd? At Leighton Engage, we create websites that don't just look good, they work hard.
Leighton Engage. Find your focus.
Up to 12 months free hosting and free maintenance with your new website. At Leighton Engage, we want to help you show up in a big way with eye-catching design and seamless functionality. We make websites that tell your story and drive results. People are searching for your products and services online right now. Are you showing up? Contact us today for up to 12 months free hosting and free maintenance on your new website. Limited time only.
Leighton Engage. Find your focus.
Back to the program. We have Sabrina Noon joining us to talk Otter volleyball as we continue our conversation. Remember, we have soccer coming up today, 2 o'clock, 1:45 pregame on KJ Country, 96.5 FM, the Otters and Hillcrest Lutheran Academy, Section 8A North Subsection Championship game, Section 8A semifinal. The winner of the subsection championship today will go on to the section championship Tuesday in Sauk Center, 5:15 against, most likely, St. Cloud Cathedral, number 1 seed, number 1 in the state in the rankings. So that'll be a tough assignment for either the Comets or the Otters, but, that's why you play them. You just never know. So we'll have that one, too, on Tuesday on KJ Country. All right, Sabrina, this is going to be a busy week ahead. Before we get to it, though, we'll review this past week. And this, last week was really a light week compared to what you're going to be facing this week. But last Saturday, you were not with us because you were in Alexandria at a very good tournament there. You played 4 matches, went 2-2. Overall, how would you grade that day?
Overall, as it went on, I would say we started at a 4 and ended at a 8. So, still room for improvement always, but they were starting to really click. Our passing with our setting and our hitting was doing really well. They found a little grit out on the court. They came back actually from one of the games from being down and coming back and winning, which is something that we struggled to do, and they did a really good job of that. So it was really fun as the day progressed, how much better they got. So, and it was good matches throughout the day.
Yeah, in that tournament, you play 3-set matches.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to 3 sets in 3 of the 4. It wasn't a 2-and-out thing.
Right.
So it was competitive.
Yeah. We, the first game of the morning, we lost in 2, and it was kind of a morning, I think. It was still kind of sleepy, still had every capability of winning that game. And that was that was a lot frustrating. And our girls were frustrated after that. And after that, we played BBE, and BBE is a strong team. Yeah. And we went through with them, and we could have easily won that game as well. It was we started just finding a little bit of a groove and finding our hitters, and then we played Minnewaska. That was a fun game too, and we took that in 3, and it was our last game of that one was we controlled it. It was, it was a battle, but we had control of the game. We had the lead majority of the time, so that was a fun game to walk away from. And then Morris, same way.
Yeah, Morris, you got down 13-25. You lost the first set against them, but then you came back and won 25-20, forcing that third game and won that one 15-13. So what a great way to end that day.
It was, we had that first game we played against them. We had sat a little bit. It was after the pool play, and we're, that's always kind of a hard transition, waiting, seeing who you're going to play. And then we had to wait a game after pool play. And then after the seeding got done, we had to wait another game to play our tournament placing game. And so it was a long little wait, but you could tell we just weren't quite ready for that first game. But after that, we turned it around, and they did great things. They pulled it together. They were super positive. They believed they could do it, and they did it. So that was something that we had lacked before.
Had to be satisfying to see the improvement from the first set of the day to the last set of the day. Where do you feel this team is just kind of gelling right now? What's kind of bringing it together? Who's kind of stepping up and doing what they need to do?
I've been looking at that, and it's a really quite interesting because all of our players have such huge roles on our team, and they're important at like different times. Our passing lately has been really well. And that was something on Saturday that I had kind of mentioned a couple times because our offense has been there. And so when our passing is there, we are able to make a lot of things happen. And so Hannah Johnson has been doing a great job um, getting passes up to our setter. Um, Bryn Sternberg, same in the back row. She had a lot of digs. She played really hard that day as well. Rachel DeBrito has been huge in the front row for us. She's very consistent with her swings, making good choices of keeping the ball in the court when the set's not quite there or timing is a little bit off on her end, seeing the court, hitting spots that we've been working on in practice, realizing, oh my gosh, that spot can get me a kill. That's awesome. And so it makes her just more of a double threat up at the net. Bella Anderson has been having good swings from the front row. And then our other hitters, Brooke Zierden, Carly Hurst, Morgan Welly, they do a really good job coming into that front row as well and keeping it consistent. So that has been huge for us. As long as our passing is there, and sometimes there's some lapses, and sometimes it has to do with the other team's servers. I mean, sometimes
Right.
they can just be brutal, and I feel like we're doing a better job of adjusting or making sure can even arrange our passers a little different, so we have a little bit more success rate. So that part is kind of starting to come along as well. So that was help leading to our success on Saturday as well.
Well, those good passes to the setter make it easier for Aubrey Day and Kendall Hansen
Yes.
to get the ball to their hitters in a position where they can do some damage.
Yeah.
And sounds like they've got some really good options there on the net. So overall, with the setting game, has that really turned around for you this year?
Yeah, Aubrey Day and Kendall have been doing a great job. One of the things that is very crucial is, sometimes the set selection, knowing when to speed up your sets and knowing when to slow them down. We're still really working on that, realizing sometimes it's really easy to fall in a habit or do what's comfortable for you. And I feel like both my setters are really challenging themselves and doing a great job of, all right, I need to spread out my sets and then knowing when to zone in on your hitter who's hot. There's kind of a fine line of, making sure we're balancing across the net, making sure that we are keeping their defense on their toes, and keeping it spread across the net to where you have you're going to have a hitter that's hot, every night. And it could be the same one a couple times, it could be different, but then knowing when to be like, all right, she's on tonight. We need to get her the ball more, and then kind of zoning in on that. So we're really working on that. You can tell they're really thinking about it and like trying really hard. Still a work in progress. Their defense is getting better as well in that back row, starting to read the ball better off of tips, starting to read the ball off of like stronger hits. It's a very challenging defensive spot to play as a setter because you have so many things going through your head. Defense, tips. Oh, I need to go up and now set my hitters for them to be successful. The setter has a very mindful game, and I mean, I'm sure that they're just not only physically exhausted after a game, but mentally just drained. So you can tell they're really working hard and they're really focusing. And I mean, that's all I can ask for them as in that role. So they're doing a
Absolutely.
great job.
So Thursday night you went to Cold Spring, and do we just mark that one off as that's one of those nights that happens during the course of a year? Because it just didn't happen for the Otters.
Yeah, it was, frustrating to say the least. And it was actually kind of, I mean, we have had some losses, but I feel like that loss on Thursday kind of sparked a little rage in some of our girls, which is exciting for me.
Yeah.
Because I want them to get mad when we lose. I want them to get mad if they make a little bit of a mistake and just have like, that's not going to happen again. Give me the ball back. One of the things in our game against Ricori is, I mean, we played really flat. I'm not going to take away from my back row, though. Their passing was awesome. I mean, our serve receive was probably the best it had been in our entire season. They were serving tough at our girls, and our passers did a great job getting the ball. We just had trouble connecting, getting that third ball over. We were making some errors that we typically didn't make as hitters. Our practice was really interesting yesterday, and we kind of did some drills, and the errors they had were like almost non-existent. And I said, what happened yesterday? And they're like, yeah, we're on it. Like, I mean, I think they saw it, they knew, and they are realizing like they have the capability. Our record does not show the ability of our girls, and it's going to take one little knob turn in us, and we are going to create damage in our conference. And we don't have much left to do it, but we can do it. We can do it.
This week is it. You've got Perham Monday, St. Cloud Apollo on Tuesday, and then your Blocktoberfest tournament on Thursday. That's a busy 3 days, but the good news is they're all at home, right?
They are all at home. We have our home tournament on Thursday. We are hosting 14 teams.
Oh, wow.
A lot of good teams are coming on Thursday. So there's going to be a lot of good volleyball in the gym. So if you're out and about, you need to come on down and check it out, because it's teams from 1A, 2A, 3A, all across the board, and it's fun. It's a really good time to see new teams and get some experience going into playoffs.
Sounds good, and we'll have coverage of the Monday match with Perham through the Fergus Now app and on Channel 977 FM. So Mark Johnson will be there to cover that one Monday night. So,
awesome.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Hey, thanks, Sabrina. Have a great week.
Thank you.
We'll know where you're at seating-wise next week when we talk, right?
All right. Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Thank you.
Very good. Sabrina Noon, head coach of the Otter volleyball team. More to come as we're at the 9 o'clock hour already. A half hour left of conversation. Soccer and football. We've got West Central area football coach Nate Wood coming on in a little bit. But soccer is what we're going to cover next. So don't go away. More to come on News Talk 1250 KBRF.
Serving West Central Minnesota and the Eastern Dakotas since 1926. News Talk 1250 AM KBRF, Fergus Falls. Portions of today's program may be pre-recorded.
Nelson Auto Center in Fergus Falls has a fantastic starting lineup with America's 3 favorite truck brands, Ford, Ram, and GMC. Nelson Auto can help you enjoy your time out on the road. Check out our starting lineup at Nelson Auto Center, Fergus Falls.
Are you looking for a small SUV that drives like a car? Look no further than the Chevy Trax at Minnesota Motor Company in Fergus Falls. The Trax has an impressive amount of safety features and is designed to keep your cargo secure and passengers comfortable. With an MSRP starting around $23,000, it's a great buy. Contact the sales team to schedule a test drive today. Together, let's drive. South Pebble Lake Road, Fergus Falls.
When a warrior faces adversity, he fights through it. He finds a way. Freedom isn't free. Rolling strong. Belief. Believe you can, and you will.
Wheelchairs for Warriors provides mobility solutions to veterans and first responders injured in the line of duty. Join the mission and visit wheelchairsforwarriors.org.
Up to 12 months free hosting and free maintenance on your new website. What's your website saying about your business? At Leighton & Gage, we create websites that don't just look good, they work hard. Our designs catch the eye, and our functionality keeps visitors engaged, driving real results for your business. And right now, we're offering up to 12 months of free hosting and maintenance when you start a new website project with us. For a limited time only.
Leighton & Gage. Find your focus.
Up to 12 months free hosting and maintenance on your new website. People are searching for your products and services online right now. Are you showing up? At Leighton & Gage, we make websites that tell your story and drive results.
Leighton & Gage. Find your focus.
Welcome back to our Saturday Coaches Show. Ben Juergens is here to talk Otter girls soccer. The season ended this week. I can think of better weeks than going to Little Falls twice. You know, it's a tough trip, Ben.
There's no easy way to get to Little Falls from Fergus.
There isn't. Last Saturday, Ben was in Little Falls with his Otter girls soccer team, and they took care of you in the second half. They're 6-1. That was the end of the regular season. Things were pretty much set seeding-wise at that time, weren't they, when you went into that game?
Yeah, both teams knew that we were going to be playing again on Wednesday. So I got coaching staff and myself got the girls together, and we set a formation that we normally don't play, and we played girls in different positions. I just didn't feel like it was necessary to show them exactly what we were going to do 3 days later, and so we hung in there in the like I think it was 1-0 or maybe 2-0 at halftime, and then we scored right away in the second half. So it was a 2-1 game. Maybe up to 10 minutes into the second half, but Little Falls did end up pulling away, and it was hard for some of the girls to understand what we were doing, because it didn't seem like we were prepared for the game. It didn't seem like we were, at our very best. But we had two girls that were gone for hockey that are pivotal players on our team, and then we had three girls go into that game on Saturday injured. So we were down 5 girls that were either starters or first subs off the bench. And then 7 minutes into the game, we had 2 of our players go down with injuries. So we were also down to about 1 or 2 subs on the bench. So Saturday was kind of a gong show, but
that perfect storm of bad stuff. Huh?
Right. But we knew that Wednesday was going to be better. Yeah. And to be quite honest, it probably couldn't have went too much better besides the injuries for us, because if you beat a team 6-1 on a Saturday, it's hard to take them pretty serious going into the next game on Wednesday.
Talk about the goal that you scored there in that game against Little Falls. It came, you got a penalty was assessed, and you got to do a PK.
Yes, Ava Eklund, actually it was just outside the PK box. So it was at about the 20-yard line, and they created a foul. And so Ava Eklund had her, a shot from about 20 yards out, and she got her 10 yards from the opposing team, and she was able to pick the corner just the way that she does, and we were right back in the game.
Well, and I think your strategy worked pretty well, because Wednesday you gave Little Falls all they wanted. I think they might have been sweating a little bit in that one, a 2-1 win for the Flyers, but you had to be pretty happy with the way the girls performed.
We really were. We were ready to play at the beginning. I mean, we were ready to go from the time we stepped off the bus till the end of the game, and that's really all coaches want from their players. We were locked in during warm-ups. The girls knew. I mean, they were loose. They were having fun. They knew we had nothing to lose, but at the same time, they knew that they had a job in front of them, and so we played really well. Little Falls, I think, played probably pretty darn well themselves, and it was a 2-1 game. They got on the board first. We had a tendency of getting behind, but we battled back. We did suffer an injury. Lydia Johnson hurt her foot, could be broken. I haven't heard yet, but she was in a lot of pain, and she's just such a pure athlete that, when you lose her in the middle, the team a lot of pain on the bench. So we knew it was probably pretty serious, and we just kept playing, and we were able to tie the game up. And unfortunately, Little Falls got one with about 3 minutes left in the game.
Tell me about their first goal.
Their first goal was a rough one, because it was a shot from about 25 yards out that hit the crossbar and went straight down. And it's a really difficult call for the officials, because it's so hard for them to get all the way to the corner to see where that ball comes down. It certainly didn't look like it hit the crossbar and went into the net. To me, and I'm probably biased, it looked like it hit the crossbar and came out, and Ava made the save. But they called it a goal, and we were down 1-0, and the girls did a great job of just ignoring that we got a tough call, what we thought was against us, but the call just didn't go our way. And they kept playing, they kept battling, and we had to move a few people around into different positions once Lydia got hurt, but everybody who was called up did a very, very nice job.
And Ava Eklund did her thing again, got the goal for you.
Yes, actually, in this one, I made a mistake on my report. Edie Helgeson ends up getting the goal.
She's come on for you.
Yes, yeah, she's had a very nice second half of the season. Edie, we joked one day. I said, Edie in the first half was running so nice and fluid, and I said, Edie, you look too nice when you run. You're not scaring any of the defense. So she started running, and it was just kind of a funny one because she started running, hard, and then she started getting these goals, and we always would joke about that. But no, Edie crashed the net, and it was a loose ball, and she was able to almost hit it in off of her knee. As the ball was bouncing, and that got us to 1-1, and we were right back in the game.
How about Ava Thompson's effort in goal for you?
Ava Thompson was solid for us all year. She did a great job in the goal. We controlled most of the play in the second half just because we got that early goal, and then we had all the momentum. But they would counterattack us and do a nice job on their counters, and Ava came up several times with just massive saves. Little Falls was good at hitting those corners, and Ava is diving to her left or diving to her right, coming out and challenging their forwards as they're crashing the net, which isn't really probably the most pleasing thing to do. I mean, if you really think about a goalie coming out, she has no pads on, she's running towards somebody that's running at her, and she's diving for the ball, hoping that they choose to jump over her. And to Little Falls' credit, they never made contact with her. And that does make the save a little bit easier, but still, Ava played really, really well for us.
So you're at the end of the season, and two things happen there. You prepare to move on without your seniors, and that's always tough. I know as a head coach, you've done it for many years. It's a tough time to say goodbye to players that you've been coaching for a while and have been such a part of your team. And then the other thing is you look at what's coming back and say, okay, how are we going to improve? What do you have to do to improve? What does this do for you this time of year, Ben, when you're processing all that?
Well, it's always important to take time and appreciate the seniors that have played with you for, regardless of how many years, but seniors in soccer can play with you up for 6 years. And so, a third of their life, they've been coached by you by the time they graduate. So you end up with some pretty strong bonds with those seniors that are going to end up, moving on to a new sport and moving on to a new opportunity, and then obviously moving on outside of high school. And so those are always tough, tough times to see those seniors, walk away from their last game because they've given so much time and effort to the sport. So that's one of the things. And then, you just hope that they can have an awesome rest of the year, and you go from seeing them every day at practice just to see them in a school, which is a little bit different, but no, those seniors are really important.
Yeah, and then moving on, the people that are going to be coming back for you, what do you tell the underclassmen at this time?
Well, I think that we play in a very competitive conference. The Central Lakes Conference is really strong in soccer, and as it is in many sports, and so there are some games that we definitely have to move our players around and play a little more defensively in some games, and we can play offensively in others. And I think that we just tell our younger players that we love three-sport athletes. We have a ton of three-sport athletes on our team. We want them to continue to cross-train in their other sports. And then hopefully in the summer that we can make time for soccer, because if we want to have a successful fall season, we definitely have to have a summer season that they can rely on and enjoy and participate in.
And finally, give a shout out to your assistant coaches who've been working with you all year.
Yeah, Paul Hicks has been with me almost from the very beginning with the girls team, and he was with me when I was the head coach of the boys team. So Paul, being a former player and then an assistant coach to me for so many years, I mean, he's just the best. The kids love him. His knowledge of the game is so strong, and he does look at things from unique ways, which I really appreciate. Hannah Baker came on staff this year. She's back in the Air Force, and she's back in Fergus, and she wanted to be involved in the sport she loved, and she's going to be involved in both soccer and hockey. Hannah Baker is a go-getter. She knows what she's talking about. She coaches the game like she plays the game, like she played the game with very no nonsense, and the girls love her attitude. And then of course Amber Hovland, who does so many things for our program. Not only is she the JV coach, but she works with the goalies, and she does so many of the things away from the field to help me out to make sure that everything's running smoothly for our program. So I just couldn't ask for better assistant coaches. And to be quite honest, a big thank you to my wife and my daughter Emma, who allows Olivia and I to be out there on late nights and after school practices. And both Emma and Amy have been awesome throughout my whole career.
Weird dinner hours, I'm sure, at the Juergens house.
Yes, between seasons. We have very few meals together. Between seasons is usually the time.
All right. Well, you enjoy that time, Ben, because it won't be long to be lacing up the skates here. So
that's true.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it. Ben Juergens, head coach of the Otter girls soccer team. We're going to talk West Central area football after the break. Nate Wood will be with us, the head coach of the Knights, who are 6-1. So don't go away. That conversation coming up on News Talk 1250 KBRF.
Up to 12 months free hosting and free maintenance on your new website. What's your website saying about your business? At Leighton & Gage, we create websites that don't just look good, they work hard. Our designs catch the eye, and our functionality keeps visitors engaged, driving real results for your business. And right now, we're offering up to 12 months of free hosting and maintenance when you start a new website project with us. For a limited time only.
Leighton & Gage. Find your focus.
At Wheelchairs for Warriors, serving America's heroes is our mission. With your support, we serve veterans and first responders injured in the line of duty across the United States of America, providing them custom fit, complex rehab mobility solutions to ensure they rejoin their lives at the highest level of independent mobility and function possible. Join the mission at wheelchairsforwarriors.org.
Here in Minnesota, we vote. We regularly lead the nation in voter turnout. And in 2024, we're going to do it again. Because here, you can vote by mail, early in person, or in person on Election Day. Just make sure your voice is heard. Go to mnvotes.gov to find everything you need to know about voting here in Minnesota. Sponsored by the Minnesota Secretary of State and aired by this station.
Remember that amazing video you shot for your business last year? What are you using it for now? At Leighton & Gage, we can help you reach your potential customers through streaming TV, utilizing your video. We can help you create content or maximize your investment you already made and help drive real results. No wasted effort, just effective marketing.
Leighton & Gage. Find your focus.
Get in touch today and make sense of digital marketing.
High-quality local embroidery for your community. Running Stitches is the choice for everything, from business logos to team apparel and personal projects. They bring your designs to life. Andrew and Allison Olson from Running Stitches Embroidery are proud supporters of local sports.
Welcome back to the program. Nate Wood, we welcome him to the show. Hi, Nate.
Hi, Craig. Thanks for having me.
Oh, great to have you on. Nate's the head coach of the West Central area football team. And they are 6-1, number one right now in Section 6A, and you're going to be there. I mean, you're going to get that number one seed right now. They kind of locked it up last night.
You know, I think, looking at the QRF points and the way everything is laid out right now, most likely, yes.
And that's a goal, isn't it? Every year, you get your guys together and say, hey, we want to go for that number one seed.
I mean, the more games you can get at home, the better off you are, I think.
Well, and your home crowd is so great and supportive, and it's fun to go to a football game at West Central.
You know, we're really, really blessed where we have an awesome atmosphere at Barrett there, and, our West Central football games are fun.
24-0 last night. That was the halftime score, and then you just kind of rode it to the victory at the end. And I was talking, Jeremy Blasick is here, one of the senior members of your team. He's doing some job shadowing here, and we were talking a little bit about that game, and I told him that was a fast game. I mean, Jason Retzloff did the broadcast. I was listening. He was out of there before 9 o'clock. That was fast. You just kept pounding the ball.
Yeah, it was a really fast game. I mean, both teams ran the ball a lot, and I was headed home at like 9:37. I'm like, what the heck? This never happens.
And you defensively, you held them to, Jason had 61 total yards you allowed last night. So tell me about your defensive scheme. What made you so efficient last night? And has it been something that you've just seen progress from day one.
It has, and that's one of our focuses on both sides of the ball is to get better every day. 1% better every day leads to a lot of success, and the kids have bought into that 100%. And defensively, we're playing really well. We're playing great team defense. Kevin McNamara is our defensive coordinator, and he does a fantastic job of getting the kids in positions to have success. And then the athletes have done a great job of going out and executing, and really bought into the mantra of trust your teammates and do what you're supposed to do, and you'll have success. And we've played really physical defense and swarmed to the ball and gang tackled and done all the things that you need to do to have a successful defense.
Well, when you have a defense like that, you're usually winning the field position battle. Has that been kind of the norm for you this year?
It has. We've been, in a good position where the defense has helped the offense out in that regard.
As far as creating turnovers, is the defense doing a good job there?
We've done a decent job. We had 2 picks last night. We've done a good job of forcing fumbles. We don't have an astronomically high turnover ratio right now, but a lot of it has just been good, solid defensive play.
Yeah, Austin Bennett and Sam Hansen had your picks last night. One of them was tipped, wasn't it, by Samuel Olson, I think?
Yes, yep, yeah, we had a tip. That was the one that Austin caught, and then Sam just made a great play in the flats and got a decent return on it.
Is your defense, if you're up against a passing team, and I don't know if you see many passing teams this year, but have they been able to get some pressure on the quarterback, get some sacks in?
Yeah, well, we got Jeremy here as one of our guys. He does a great job of getting pressure, and we don't see a ton of teams passing, or a lot of times it's maybe teams doing something they don't want to do, and then that's a little easier to get pressure. But our pass defense has definitely improved as the season has gone on as well. It's hard to cover the pass in high school football, and it takes time to really understand where you got to fit in your drops.
Well, and Don Stuvey, the longtime Otter coach, always told me 3 things happen when you throw the ball, and 2 of them are bad. So he didn't throw the ball much, incompletions and interceptions. They have a 1 in 3 chance here.
Yeah, it's not always that great, but
but if you have a quarterback that can do it, and the receivers, then you do it. And you've had some pretty good balance. You've had your running team predominantly, but you're not afraid to throw the football.
No, and I think that's something we've improved on. We've got Owen Gruco at quarterback. He's a sophomore. Last year he did not play any offense. He started as a 9th grader at safety for us last year, and that was mainly his focus. And he's done a fantastic job of stepping up into that role. And his passing ability continues every week to get better, and he's seeing the field better and having more confidence in himself too.
You scored a first quarter touchdown to get the lead in that game last night. Has that been something you've been doing consistently, getting on the board first?
Yeah, aside from BBE, we have not trailed this year, which is an interesting stat to have.
Yeah.
And, so you always wonder, how are we going to respond when we do trail? But it's also not a bad place to be either.
After that touchdown, Hunter Gruco scored the 2-point conversion for you, his first of 3 on the night here. What makes your 2-point conversion play so successful?
We make it a point of emphasis during the week to specifically practice our 2-point plays. And, this week we just felt that we had some favorable matchups in certain areas. And so we made it a point of emphasis that our 2-point plays were going to be geared towards that.
So do you run them out of the same formation, or do you give them different formations, have different variations?
We pretty much run our offense on our 2-point plays. So it's, if we're seeing something or we're having success with something, we're going to keep rolling with that, even for our 2-point.
No swinging gate stuff?
We worked on it this year, but we have not actually run it in a game. So.
Okay. But you're not adverse to running some of those types of plays, obviously, because your second touchdown last night was a little bit of a flea flicker.
It was, and so we like to have some fun now and then. We ran a hook and ladder against Benson, and we ran a flea flicker this week, and thankfully it worked out.
So describe that to us, how that unfolded.
So really, it's just a counter off of a base play that we run a ton, where we will hand off to Hunter and kind of that cross-body handoff, and then he just flips it back, and we had some routes off of it. So it worked out great.
Yeah, and Owen got it to bend by and 13 yards into the end zone. And listening to Jason Retzloff talk about the game He was talking about Ben Bai. Had a lot of good things to say about Ben. Talk about what he gives you in that receiver spot.
You know, Ben is a great leader for us. Just personality wise to begin with, he's a great kid, a great person, and then he's 6'5" and about 200 pounds, and that helps a lot. I mean, he is a big kid. He can jump out off the field, and he does a great job of buying into what we need to. He's a good blocker, and it allows him then to get open too.
And with that size, I imagine once he gets the ball in his hands, it's not easy to bring him down. Might need a little help. Huh?
He's a good athlete, good basketball player for us too, and he's good with his hands, and then a physical body to bring down.
Hunter Gruco got your final touchdown of the half end of the game, as it turned out, and then the 2-point conversion to put you up 24-0. But on that drive, Tucker McGee had a big run that kind of set you up, and nice to have Tucker healthy and doing what he does.
Well, and it's really nice to have, I feel like we've got 3 backs that all bring a little bit of different style of play to the game. We've got Sam Hansen's kind of that speed, explosive, and then Tucker is a similar kind of back, but he's more shifty and kind of finds open gaps, and he's so good at finding the hole and hitting it. And then Hunter just runs violent.
Yeah. Talk about the line a little bit, because obviously you don't get numbers like that or points like that without the offensive line.
I've been really, really proud of our offensive line this year. We have 3 new starters on the offensive line, with only 2 starters coming back, and we really stress the importance of communicating up front. And this group does a fantastic job of working together as a unit, and we know how important that is. As an offensive line, you're kind of your team within the team.
Right.
And, it's a very intelligent group, and they understand what we need to do and where they need to get to and how to do it, and that helps a lot.
Are you a team that is able to go to the bench successfully, move kids in and out, to give your starters a breather here and there, or do you rely on, 11 to 13 guys to play both sides of the ball?
It's a little of both, honestly. We're able to platoon our O&D lines, so we have our offensive line pretty much only plays offensive line, and our defensive line pretty much only plays defensive line. So, we got Jeremy here, and he could very easily be a guard for us, but we've made a conscious effort we want our offensive and defensive lines fresh. And so that has been a nice luxury to kind of have players that we can have focused just on that. Aside from that, though, we're not super deep. So, injury is always a concern, and we always breathe a sigh of relief every game that we can get out healthy, because, we are not incredibly deep across the board.
Oh, that's huge, though, to be able to platoon the lines. I think that's a great thing to have.
It's really nice.
As a coach, yeah. How about special teams play? How has that been working for you?
I think we've really made a focus on special teams this year. We've got Gage Webley is a younger coach on our staff, and he's kind of taken the reins on our special teams and has really put a ton of time and effort into working with them. And it's another group that I feel like has continued to get better every week as they understand their role and how they fit in the big scheme of the game.
Well, that's always an important part of a team that maybe we don't talk about enough, because it can just make such a huge difference as far as the field position game again, your turn game, or being able to keep a team pinned deep with a kicking game. So it's a big part of the game that we don't maybe talk about enough. But how about penalties? Are you taking care of yourself there? Are you hurting yourself at all?
We've been doing a really good job of playing clean, disciplined football. Last night, I think we had 1 illegal motion just because our timing on our line snapping down with the cadence. They flagged us for that. And then we had a hold that I strongly disagree with. Watching on film, but aside from that, it was a pretty clean game.
Were you arguing your case from the sidelines?
I was not. It was.
Okay.
I know the crew that was reffing, and I'm not going to give them a hard time. I know they do a great job, and we appreciate them. I just had a different perspective. So.
Well, you have one more regular season game. You're at home against Uppsala Swanville area. What's the early scouting report on USA?
I mean, they're good. They are very, very good on all facets of the game. They've had a great season so far. They're well coached, and it's kind of they're 7-0, we're 6-1, and you kind of look at that game, and it's a big game in that regard. And then on the flip side, it doesn't really mean anything for either of us for section seating or anything like that. So I think the big thing is you want to, for both teams, you want to come and play well and compete and have fun and come out healthy and enjoy the moment. We don't have too many nights like this left. We talked about it last night. You know, it's week 7 going into the last game, so enjoy yourself and have fun too.
And the weather this fall, I mean, can we bottle this and like bring it out every fall, huh?
It's crazy. I've hardly worn a sweatshirt this year for football, and that's, you know, normally by this time of year you've had at least one miserable game. You know, last year week 7 it was pouring rain and cold and muddy and pretty nasty. And my phone popped up with a few pictures from 6 years ago when we were practicing in the morning, and it was snow and frost on the field, and yeah, it's very different this year.
Oh, it's been outstanding. It sounds like, you know, the forecast for Wednesday night's going to be good too for that last home game, the way it looks.
It does. I mean, the 10-day forecast looks pretty decent across the board. So,
right.
Yeah.
Well, and as the number 1 seed, which you will be in Section 6A, you get a couple of home games too in the playoffs, which is just a great bonus for your fans. What a great fan base you have there.
We really do. We're very blessed.
Well, and the volleyball team went to state last year, and they're doing well again this year. Just that atmosphere at the school, you know, it has to be just great.
Yeah, it's really fun. I mean, it is an awesome group of students we have. Really, our student body right now is really enjoyable, and that makes everything, you know, a lot more fun too.
How top heavy are you with seniors and juniors? Do you have a lot of upperclassmen?
We have a lot of seniors, so we've got 11 seniors, and they all contribute and play, and that's, you know, rare, I would say, where every single senior has a very valuable contribution to the team. And our junior class is a little bit lighter. It's one of our smaller classes. Our 11th and 10th grade classes are small, and then we have a large freshman group with some really good athletes that have contributed this year already too.
All right. Nate, thanks so much for coming in and talking about the Knights. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks, Craig.
All right. Nate Wood, head coach of the West Central Area football team. Concluding our Coaches Show interviews for today. We'll be back again next week, 8 to 9:30, with another version of the Coaches Show here on News Talk 1250 KBRF.
I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with your forecast